The 2026 BMW Z4 represents the final chapter of BMW's modern two-seat roadster era. Offered in two main U.S. road-going trims, the S-Drive 30i and the M40i, and sent off with a limited Final Edition package, the Z4 retains its classic soft-top convertible layout, rear-wheel drive, and a driver-centric cockpit, while adding a handful of small refinements and special edition touches before production concludes in early 2026. Under the hood, the Z4's powertrain choices remain straightforward and focused on the sporty but accessible end of BMW's catalog. The S-Drive 30i uses a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder, BMW's B48 family, that produces in the neighborhood of 255 horsepower and roughly 295 lb-ft of torque, a package that balances daily usability with brisk mid-range performance. While the M40i continues to employ the turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six B58 family, delivering approximately 382 horsepower and 368 lb-ft, producing significantly stronger acceleration and a more visceral exhaust note. BMW also offered the M40i with the enthusiast-pleasing option of a 6-speed manual gearbox in select markets alongside the standard 8-speed Sport automatic, an uncommon and welcome concession to driving purists in an era of widespread automatics. Mechanically, the Z4 remains true to its sports car brief, a lightweight soft top that opens and closes quickly, in about 10 seconds on many examples, at up to moderate speeds, a low center of gravity, near-perfect driver sight lines and ergonomics, a chassis that can be optioned with BMW's dynamic handling equipment, bigger M Sport brakes, an available electronic M Sport differential, and adaptive dampers, and a suite of modes, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, that alter throttle response, steering, weighting, and damper rates for sharper turn-in or more relaxed cruising, which together yield a car that feels agile in everyday traffic, yet capable and planted on a canyon road or racetrack. Inside, BMW updated the Z4's cockpit with intuitive digital controls and premium materials. The driver benefits from a prominently placed digital instrument cluster paired with a central touchscreen. BMW's latest iDrive iteration in 2026 manifests with improved graphics and faster processing. More tactile switchgear, standard M Sport touches on many variants, sport seats, M-trim steering wheel, and a well-laid-out center console that keeps the shifter, iDrive controller, if fitted, and drive mode selector within easy reach. The cabin continues to accommodate two adults in real comfort for short to moderate distances with a modestly sized but usable trunk for the class, and higher trim models can be ordered with options such as heated and ventilated seats, premium Harman Kardon sound, ambient interior lighting, and expanded driver assistance packages. On safety and tech, the 2026 Z4 follows BMW's contemporary approach, a standard complement of airbags, stability and traction control systems, ABS and advanced braking assists, plus available driver aids like blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, and automated emergency braking, while the Z4's focus is sports performance rather than full autonomous capability. These systems help make it a more usable, confidence-inspiring automobile for daily driving and long distance touring. BMW positioned the 2026 Z4 competitively in the premium roadster segment. Pricing in the U.S. market ranged roughly from the high-dash $50,000s for a well-equipped S-Drive 30i to the high-dash $70,000s for a fully specified M40i or special Final Edition, with the Final Edition in some markets arriving as a fixed-price send-off that packaged exclusive paint, interior trim, for example frozen black paint and red-stitched Alcantara on some U.S. Final Edition cars, unique badging, and additional equipment. For a premium over the normal configuration, availability and exact pricing varied by market and options, and BMW announced that the Final Edition would be offered with a short order window beginning in late January 2026. In Europe, the Final Edition was offered with specific Euro price packages, while US details differed slightly. In terms of performance metrics, The M40i's more muscular inline-six delivers mid-4-second 0 to 60 miles per hour times in most independent testing and manufacturer estimates, while the four-cylinder S-Drive 30i achieves spirited sub-6-second acceleration that will satisfy most owners who prize balance and efficiency. Real-world fuel economy numbers vary with driving style and drivetrain selection, but buyers could expect the S-Drive 30i to achieve the better highway numbers of the two, and the M40i too. Trade some economy for greater performance. Dimensionally, the 2026 Z4 is compact in keeping with its roadster identity. Short overhangs, long hood, and a set-back cabin. And while it isn't large enough to eclipse more commodious GT cars, it was engineered to optimize weight distribution and responsiveness. This packaging allows for entertaining balance through corners and a planted feel at speed, though it also means luggage capacity and rear seat room. There are none, are limited. So the Z4's strengths are clearly in two-up touring, weekend drives, and track days rather than family hauling. On handling and driver feel, the Z4's steering, typically hydraulically boosted in prior generations and electrically assisted in later ones depending on market and spec, is tuned to provide clear feedback, combined with the optional M Sport differential, adaptive dampers, and upgraded brakes. The car rewards precise inputs and can be dialed from comfortable cruiser to razor-edge corner carver by switching drive modes and selecting the right options. BMW's decision to end Z4 production in early 2026 and to mark the occasion with a final edition was framed by the company as a natural life cycle conclusion for that particular generation. The Z4's third generation first debuted in 2018, and BMW's press materials and enthusiast outlets described the final edition as a brief, fairly limited run intended to celebrate the Roadster's history rather than to signal a direct, immediate successor. Various reports indicate that the Z4's production would cease around March 2026 and that no direct successor was announced at the time, leaving open the possibility that the future of the small, pure two-seat soft top in BMW's lineup might be reimagined, or not, in a different form, possibly electrified, as BMW reshuffles portfolios toward electrification across other ranges. The Z4's market position through 2026 remains squarely against premium two-seat competitors, such as Porsche's mid-engine Boxster 718 series and other boutique roadsters. Buyers often compared the Z4 favorably for its relative value, BMW's strength in inline-six smoothness, and the convenience of a true trunk versus some rivals' packaging compromises, while critics sometimes pointed to the Boxster's sharper chassis balance due to its mid-engine layout and, in certain trims, superior handling precision. Nevertheless, the Z4's character, with its broad torque curve, particularly in the six-cylinder, strong premium interior fitment, and the pleasures of an available manual in the M40i, secured an enthusiastic following among those who wanted a BMW-flavored convertible rather than a pure mid-engine sports car. For buyers thinking about options and personalization, BMW continued offering a long list of dealer-installed and factory options, from aerodynamic and cosmetic packages, M Sport Package, shadow line trim, special wheel designs, and unique Final Edition hardware, to practical add-ons like adaptive cruise and parking assistance. The brand emphasized bespoke touches. Customers could spec different interior leathers, stitch colors, wheel sizes, and carbon or piano black trim elements. And the Final Edition consolidated a set of those exclusive aesthetic choices for a commemorative package that in some regions, notably Europe, carried a clearly stated euro cost, and in others a fixed US price for the special model. Ownership and running costs for the Z4 were typical for a premium European sports car. Maintenance and insurance tend to be higher than mainstream cars, and while the four-cylinder S-Drive 30i provided a slightly more economical ownership profile, the M40i has higher performance and associated service items, bigger brakes, sport tires, raised costs. Additionally, earlier reports indicated that BMW might raise pricing across its lineup at the start of 2026, although the Z4 Final Edition and similarly singled-out models had special pricing and ordering windows that interacted with those corporate pricing strategies. From a purchaser's perspective, Availability in different markets reflected local demand and regulatory environments. The US market typically received the S-Drive 30i and the M40i with their specific equipment packages and safety/infotainment calibrations, while European buyers could choose among additional engine variants, such as the S-Drive 20i in some countries, and Euro-specific option bundles. The final edition pricing in Europe for the S-Drive 30i/M40i was reportedly around 4,200 euros as an add-on, with different pricing rules for the more basic S-Drive 20i, and BMW's official materials and dealer sites made clear that the final edition required the M Sport package as a prerequisite in most instances. Enthusiasts and reviewers in 2025 to 2026 widely noted that the Z4's continued appeal was its blend of accessible performance, engine refinement, especially the silky B58 inline-six, and open-top driving pleasure without the complexity or bulk of larger GT cars. Many reviews recommended the S-Drive 30i as a sensible, everyday-friendly choice, and the M40i as the definitive model for buyers who prize performance and the emotional engagement of an inline-six, and the availability of the manual made the M40i particularly appealing to collectors and drivers who expect to extract the most from a sports car. Looking beyond the numbers, the Z4's exterior styling for 2026 stayed faithful to the contemporary BMW design language of bold kidney grilles, sleek adaptive LED headlights, sculpted flanks, and pronounced haunches, while the final edition accentuated those features with special shadow-line details, unique wheel treatments, and a curated palette of paints and interior finishes intended to make the last examples visually distinct and collectible. Inside, BMW's focus on refinement meant that the Roadster continued to feel like a concisely packaged luxury item rather than a stripped-down sports car, with comfortable leather, pleasing switchgear, and a modern, usable infotainment layout. In short, the 2026 BMW Z4 is best understood as the swan song of a capable, stylish, two-seat rear-wheel drive roadster that offered two clear performance personalities: a nimble, efficient 2.0-liter model and a much quicker inline-six M40i, modern BMW tech and creature comforts, and a celebratory final edition that bundles unique styling and trim to mark the end of production. It remains a compelling purchase for buyers wanting an engaging open-top BMW with genuine performance potential and the emotional appeal of a final run special. Though prospective buyers should factor in the limited production window, potential regional price variations, the realities of higher ownership costs for a premium sports car, and the uncertain successor strategy from BMW beyond 2026 as they consider whether to acquire a new Z4 now or seek a lightly used example in the near future.